Hey, Charlie and Will. After listening to today's episode, The Anchorman, where you discuss the idea of turning on a device with messages from the future and how many messages would come through, reminded me of the poor lady who Charlie doxed with a fax machine. So I've set out to make my new movie, Fax to the Future, where a mysterious time traveler, played by a Clawson type, entrusts his fax messages to a lady in the shop, but she soon discovers they are messages from the future. Thanks for all the free funny.
Yes.
Love from your Irish listener. Well, top of the morning to you.
May your potatoes be plenty and bountiful.
I
as
hope
you
you
are fond of saying.
I hope you found the person who took your Lucky Charms. I'm half Irish. I can make those jokes. It's my
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
That's our
I
word
think.
to do.
Look, I'm a white Australian, so chances are there's some Irish in there somewhere.
Okay. What do we think of this idea, Facts to the Future? I think it's got legs.
Yeah, I agree. I
Is it
agree.
as a comedy? I could see it as a kind of like Judd
Yeah,
Apatow,
it's
Seth
a woman
Rogen.
who's got like she's getting these faxes from the future, but she's annoyed by it because she's trying
Yeah.
to run her news agency.
Yeah,
She has no. She's not in the solving crimes from the future business, but she has this fax machine that keeps getting these mysterious faxes, and it annoys the shit out of her.
That is brilliant. So she's just taken over this news agent. Like maybe she just split from her husband. You know, she's in a shitty mood. She's taken over this thing. She's going to try and make this news. She's never run a shop before. And, you know, as she's clearing up the back room, she finds this old fax machine, blows the dust off it, doesn't
Right.
realize that it's a bit of high grade, like military tech that was left there by accident. And it was like this experimental fax machine that was taking messages from their agent in the future. And so she plugs it in and it comes through and it's basically Quantum Cop. It's Quantum
you know
Cop is
what?
sending back.
The dude, she buys the store from the dude who died.
Yeah.
That was his
scientist?
cover, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like he's the guy who's invented the future fax machine, dude, and he's been like living in this news agency. It's a good cover to have that sort of equipment out the back, and he's just been using it to. And then he dies. She takes over the estate. She finds it out the back.
Okay. And so what is the issue? She's got to have a goal. And these faxes have got to get in the way of that. So if you were, I mean,
Her goal is to like survive because she's a single mother now, and she's trying to run a news agency.
yeah. And she's getting these like panicked messages from the future about humanity being at stake. She gets annoyed
So,
because
because remember with your like the lady who we annoyed, wasn't she hearing the phone ring or whatever from her house
Night
or
and
something
day.
like that? So
Night and
this
day.
is what. So it kind of has that horror, like just mysteriously, the fax machine starts like ringing. Like maybe it's not
Yeah.
even plugged in.
plugged
do you know
in.
what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our future tech, they don't even use like
I don't need a plug.
power.
I mean,
yeah,
it'd be
that's right.
ridiculous to like rely on just like a plug for this device, right?
Yeah, exactly. So then I think you need to bring in another character because who's this guy sending this? Who is the contact point who's meant to be getting these messages, like Looper? So the guy is coming to the news agent he's got to get because there you got a conflict because he wants these faxes, but she's just annoyed that who's this guy who keeps faxing me? So, and then I think they can go on an adventure together. Maybe a love story. I like those movies where in a lazier film, they would make them fall in love, but they never do. They don't like each other, but they have a begrudging respect for each other by the end, but it never goes further. You never see them kiss or there's never kind of some confession or anything like that. They just two different people who find a common cause.
Okay, I'm fine with that. That feels okay to me. But what? So he's got to recruit her because she's the one who's standing in between
Yes.
him and. But how could she realistically be standing between like a spy type person? Like
Yeah, what would stop him?
Like what stops him from just coming in and being able to access this fax machine? Like
Well,
what's
I reckon we just build in some kind of convenient tech where because she was the one who turned it on, the fax got coded to her, so you can't actually read the faxes unless you have like the coding with it like that. She when she pressed the power button, it implanted a nanobot under her skin.
nanobots? That's good.
Yeah.
We'll use the universal Hollywood language of yada yada yada
Yeah.
plot point and blame it on nanobots. Definitely nanobots.
So it implants a nanobot in her. So which then moves up her bloodstream to her cornea, and so she's the only person. It just looks like a blank sheet to him. So he needs her to translate the faxes to him.
Oh, that's great. Only she can read the faxes. Like it's
Yeah.
like invisible ink to everybody else because people can't understand at the start because she's getting these mysterious messages. Because I think she should get the messages a bit before he turns up, right? And she's getting these mysterious messages, and we can play it a bit like no one's believing her, because when they look at the pieces of paper, they just see a blank page, and she's just come out of this relationship, and everything's been going wrong in her life.
How about this? It's like They Live, that great scene in They Live where Roddy Piper starts putting on the glasses for the first time and seeing all the billboards obey. So for her, it is like a horror film, because she's getting these almost like threatening messages coming through, like all humanity will die, blah, 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 blah. And she's showing them to people, and no one can kind of understand what she's talking about. And the great thing is, because she doesn't know she has had the corneal implant, she's seeing and you don't see it. No, it's blank paper as far as I'm concerned. The one guy who believes her is the agent. So she needs his help.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, okay, perfect. Now she has a reason to be with him as well.
Yeah, that's right.
See, screenwriting's easy.
Well, that's the first act. To see the full video, join our Patreon.
Patreon.com/Tofop.